uh,
No matter what they do, they will laugh and talk with you. Then turn around and try to hurt you. It's not easy. Life is not easy. Yahweh, send me an angel today. Cast all my sins away. As I kneel and pray. Yahweh, send me an angel today. Cast all my sins away. As I kneel and pray. As I kneel and pray. Yahweh, send me an angel today. Cast all my sins away. As I kneel and pray. Yahweh, send me an angel today. Cast all my sins away. As I kneel and pray. I am not ashamed to praise my Father's name. Put Major Riley in the Hall of Fame is not easy. Life is not easy. Life is in a mess. We have to do our best to alleviate the stress. The truth we possess is not easy. Life is not easy. Yahweh, send me an angel today. Cast all my sins away. As I kneel and pray. Yahweh, send me an angel today. Cast all my sins away. As I kneel and pray. As I kneel and pray.
Oh, Father, each day I pray you guide my way. And lead me not into temptation. Please deliver me, Yahweh. Ooh, yeah. Let me be strong in your word. Let your truth be heard. But you're my strength and my shield. The sound of your voice makes the universe yield. Oh, yeah. I said Yahweh's here on his throne to lead his children safely home. Glory. Glory, hallelujah, yeah. Wherever you lead me, Father.
The Nation of Yahweh presents The Unfolding Light. Today's show is brought to you by Builders of the Highway Foundation, Yahweh Life Center, Neo Jazz School of Music, Yahweh Education Centers, and the Temple of Brothers and Sisters of Goodwill. And now for your host, Dr. Lud Yisrael.
Boker Tov and Shabbat Shalom and welcome to Nation of Yahweh's weekly teleconference, The Unfolding Light. I am your host, Dr. Lou, along with my co-host, Sister Tamar. Boker Tov, sister.
Boker Tov, Shabbat Shalom, family.
Well, praise Yahweh. It is a great day in Yahweh. It is a great day to know Yahweh. It's a great day to be in His grace, to be serving Yahweh. And it's just wonderful knowing at last that our Father has come for us. And our Father is not playing around. So with that, today we'll have on Unfolding Light, who is Yahweh by the Most Honorable, Yahweh ben Yahweh. Directly after that, we'll have a keynote message from the Master Teacher. And directly after that, we'll have the part where we all take part in unfolding the light. We call it Power Talk. Also, today I have a very special announcement. So, with that said, and now for our prayer. If we will all stand and face the east with outstretched hands, O Yahweh, God of our salvation, save us, gather us together, and deliver us from this heathen, so that we may give thanks to thy holy name and glory in thy praises. Blessed be the holy name of Yahweh and Yisrael forever. O Yahweh, let them be confounded that persecute us, but let not us be confounded. Let our enemies be dismayed, but let not us be dismayed. Bring upon our enemies the day of evil, and destroy them with double destruction. O Yahweh, forgive our fathers for breaking your laws, and please forgive us for breaking your laws. Help us to never bring shame upon thy great name, nor reproach against thy works. For surely we have turned ourselves to thee, O Yahweh, trying to be upright. And as we confess our faults, please grant us protection against all of our faults. Cleanse us of our secret faults, and guide us to the best of morals. For surely our prayers and our sacrifices, our lives and our deaths, are all for thee, O Yahweh. Tefillah. Avenu Shabbat Shemayim, Yikadesh Shemeaka, Tavo Malkuteraka, Yad Zerizonka, Kim Vashemayim Kain Ba'aretz, Elekan Kukenu, Tain Lanu Hayom, Uslat Lanu, All Kartienu, Kimosa Sol King, Gamanatnu, Lakotiem Lanu, Veal Tevienu, Lade Nisayom, King Kal Senu, Min Hara, Kilaka, Hamamlaha, Veha Givera, Veha Tefieret, Leolame, Olamin Sila. We thank thee, O Yahweh, O living and eternal King, who has so mercifully restored our souls within us. So let everything that has breath praise Yahweh.
Remember that this is the morning of the third day, and I shall rise again. I am the resurrection. All of prophecy tells you that I shall rise again. It's all about that. Luke chapter 2, verse 34. No doubt about it. Again, I love you forever, bless you forever. I remind you once again, my associates are children of the light. That just brings laughter to my heart, to my soul, to realize that at last I have those of you that love peace. And I only want to be in the presence of those of you that love peace. I love you forever. Shalom Aleichem.
So who is Yahweh? Yahweh is a name that you should know, because it's the duty of the Son of God to proclaim his Father's name. And here you have a whole bunch of people going to church, 400,000 churches, and they don't know the name of the Father. They say such silly things like, Father, God, help me. Both of them titles. Father is a title, God is a title. Who's going to answer to that? The purpose of the coming of the Son is to reveal the name of the Father. That's who he prayed to, our Father, and he called his name. He said, hallowed be, holy be thy name. How can it be holy to you and you don't know it? Interesting, isn't it? There are a lot more interesting questions than that about that situation. But when you begin to read your Bible, as I call this to your attention, you will discover from the Old Testament of Genesis all the way through Revelations, it's all about the name of the Father. It's all about his name. But somebody got you calling some other kind of name other than the Father's name. And you don't know his name. And unless you learn his name, then you're never going to move from poverty to riches. And if you don't come into the knowledge of the name. Haven't you ever wondered why it is that you have the same God, have the same churches and the same names that white people have? I mean, have you noticed? You do. Our people have the same, right? Isn't it strange how God always answers white people's prayers? And black folks' prayers don't seem to be the same magnitude. You know, you say, well, I get my prayers answered. Well, why don't you ever get answered to be the ruler? I mean, you know, my people are always on their knees in front of white people asking white people to let them be accepted. Why do you need to ask white people for acceptance? Why don't you just ask God? Doesn't your God have enough power to make you accepted? Why can't you be the people that everybody else wants to be among? Why are you always running after somebody else to be among them? What's wrong with your God? Why do you have to go around always on your knees with your hat in your hand begging for a job from white people? Why don't your God just give you some jobs? Oh, I have to ask you some serious questions, because white people move from poverty to riches every day. Huh? They come from Russia, they come from Europe, they come from England, they come from all over the world with nothing on the ship. Come and get in your neighborhood. Come with a buggy and a basket and a wagon and push it around in your neighborhood and move from poverty to riches out of your pockets. You live in the neighborhood and stay poor and just pray all the time. You prayed enough to rule all the world. So who is Yahweh? Yahweh is the God of the Bible. He's the God of the Hebrews. In the beginning, Yahweh created the heavens and the earth. Yahweh is the man that beat up on Pharaoh. Y'all remember how he put plagues in Egypt? That was Yahweh did that. Yahweh is the one that when Pharaoh got real sassy, he drowned him in the Red Sea. That's Yahweh who did it. Yahweh is the man that when Daniel refused to bow down to another nation and quit facing the east and praying, when he refused to stop praying to his God, which was Yahweh, they said, well, we're going to put you in the lion's den, and starved him. Threw him in the lion's den. Yahweh locked the jaws of the lion. Lions could do him no harm. Rulers got scared. Came and got Daniel out and made him a ruler. Right? I just want you to know who Yahweh is. He made the sun, the moon, the stars, all what you see and haven't seen. Okay. So who is Yahweh ben Yahweh? I am his son. I am his son. That's who I am. I am the son of Yahweh. I don't care who else is the son or who else they are. It makes me no difference. I'm not here tonight concerning myself with who is the son of who. I'm the son of Yahweh. I have to tell you who I am. Yahweh is my father. I am his son. What makes me his son? What makes me Yahweh's son is I do not have a will outside of his. I have no thoughts, no ideas, and no program outside of Yahweh. You'll find that all that I ever do, all that I've ever done, and all that I'm ever going to do is found right in the Bible, and it's traced right to his will. No exception. I take no credit for all that I have built. It's all in his name. Yuhe-Wafe. That's one of the things that make me his son. Also, I have no difference in his word. I only speak his words. Even the words I've spoken to you thus far, the principles of those words are all in the Bible. Every single one of them is found in the Bible. No exceptions. So I walk as he says walk. I talk as he says talk. I act as he says act. I do whatever he says do. I have no idea of doing it any other way. Those are the things that makes me his son. I obey his laws, his statutes, his judgments, his commandments. That's why I'm successful. He said in his holy word that if I obey his laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments, that he would make everything, all the works of my hand would prosper. So all the works of my hands, it's prospering. I'm telling you why. Now, what about you? You might say, well, if you're the son of Yahweh, can I be? Of course you can. Of course you can be the sons of Yahweh. Every one of you can be. Every one of you can be the daughters of Yahweh. All you have to do is like I do. Obey his will, just like I do. You automatically become. You believe on his name, then you have eternal life. There's no other name under heaven that you can be saved in other than God who created it. You can't be saved in no name but the name of the one who created everything. And he gave his son a name higher than all the angels in heaven. What's the name higher than all the names that the angels could possibly have? The Father's name. There can be no name higher than the Creator's. So the son has to come in his father's name. Just like if your name is Davis, then your father was named Davis. If your name is Smith, your father's name was Smith. My name is Yahweh, so my father's name is Yahweh. That's logical.
Know and rest your mind assured. Our eyes have seen his works before. And until my last days, 'tis Yahweh I will praise. Yahweh.
Praise Yahweh. I certainly like to thank the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh for coming to us and teaching us who is Yahweh as no one else ever could do. Praise Yahweh. Also, I want to thank the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh for teaching us our true history, which used to be the world's best kept secret. Praise Yahweh. And now, a brief bio on the master teacher, the founder of the nation of Yahweh, the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh. Yahweh Ben Yahweh came to Miami, Florida alone in 1979 to become the spiritual leader and founder of the nation of Yahweh. Although he took a vow of poverty that same year, within 7 years, he guided the nation and those who followed his teachings and principles to amass an economic empire in the greater Miami area and throughout the United States worth over $250 million. Under his direction, the nation of Yahweh has grown to encompass disciples, followers, believers, and supporters in thousands of cities across the United States of America and indeed throughout the four corners of the earth. The University of Yahweh, for which he has established the curriculum and for which he has received great acclaim in educational excellence, currently has locations across the United States. The moral teachings of Yahweh Ben Yahweh is bringing about a change in the lives of individuals and causing them to take a different approach to life. This approach is based on the scripture which reads, "It is more blessed to give than to receive." Yahweh Ben Yahweh continues to give. That which he is given cannot be measured in monetary wealth. Yahweh Ben Yahweh is giving the world the keys to success in life politically, educationally, economically, socially, and spiritually. And now, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the Grand Master of the Celestial Lodge, the architect of the universe, the blessed and only potentate, the founder of the nation of Yahweh. Ladies and gentlemen, the Honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh.
I'm building my kingdom with you who voluntarily receive me. Behold, I stand at your door and I knock. Some of you are sitting back in there, got your door all locked up, hollering out, who is it? I don't mind telling you, Yahweh Ben Yahweh. And I'm calling out and saying, there's a terrible storm, it's a severe storm headed your way. And it's called the fall of Satan. And this is the time of Jacob's trouble. Welcome to international headquarters for Hebrew Israelites, the nation of Yahweh, the nation of Israel, the tribe of Judah, children of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Welcome to where the truth of our history, culture, language, name, land, and God is taught. That truth which will set us free. I teach moral behavior. And one of the definitions of moral behavior includes the word ethics or ethical. And the word ethics is very important to us. Without ethics, we are destroyed as a people. All people of the earth are trapped without ethical teachings. No exceptions to that. One of the tricks of the enemy of the people of the world is to teach the world sin. The world is actually taught sin. Where? Jeremiah 13:23. The world is taught sin. You're taught how to sin. We're taught to sin without ever being taught that's what it is. Jeremiah 13:23. Read.
Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good, that are accustomed to do evil.
And accustomed in the reference book said train. The reference to that word accustomed in your Bible is trained. So here we are, growing up in America and around the world, trained from babies and all through school to do evil. And you wonder why police officers are needed in the school buildings. You wonder why children are on drugs. Total disrespect for authority. All authority. It doesn't matter whose authority. Your children go to the public school good and are trained to go against you as parents. They're actually trained to have no respect for you. And if you don't believe it, watch how children act toward their parents when they come home from school. You do not see respect for parental authority from children. Wouldn't you think that after your child left you at 7:30 in the morning or 6, that they would come home at 4 o'clock thinking highly of you? I mean, they've had them all day long, brainwashing them all day long. They have your child all day long, and when your child comes home, he shows no respect to you. Shows no respect for your mother, which is their grandmother. Your child is trained to come to you with his hand out. And when he will show anger if you don't give him what he wants. Grandmother gets It's not really respect. She's buying a little order. With a quarter here and 50 cents there, $1. Children are trained to not respect their grandparents, their parents, their sisters and brothers. They're trained not to respect their neighbor or anybody else's property. They run up and down the halls of the public school system like little wild animals. If you don't believe it, you need to just slip in and say you want to visit somebody and you'll see. Why is it that they are like animals in every school across America? It's not just Miami. It's not just one little school. It's every single school. They are trained to be animals. They even have movies of college students, and they call them Animal House. Where do they learn to be animals? They're trained to be animals in the school, trained to be evil, and it says so right here. They're trained and they're accustomed to it. Meaning they've gotten used to it. It's the expected thing to hear a child use profanity. They can use language that will make a sailor feel funny. When I came up, they said, man, he cursed like a sailor. And I never sailed anything. I didn't. Except ivory soap in the bathtub, that's all I knew. Trained to do evil. Trained to sin. And after a whole week of being brainwashed to do evil, they may or may not go to church. And you went to church. You didn't learn how to undo all the wicked training you received all week long in school. No, you did not. What did you do? Sit in Sunday school and learn Jesus well? Don't know who made him weak. If he looked at our ghetto neighborhood children, he would weep now, wouldn't he? I know I have certainly shed tears over the condition of our people. And you that don't shed tears are the victims of those who've been trained to do evil. I'm going to prove, I said they are trained to sin, taught to sin in the school system. All of it, from grade school all the way through, from kindergarten all the way through. They come up with some dumb thing to take your children even further away from you with sex education. I mean, since when do we need sex education? Nobody look like us need no such training. We come out the womb knowing about that stuff. I mean, we are born ready. You ought to see those little brothers be born, boy. It'll blow your mind. They come out of there ready. Don't let nobody fool you. I know what I'm talking about. So you don't have to train him to get ready. He can get ready. He don't even know. You think he don't know what it is, but that's nature. So what are they really doing? They're programming your children to worship carnality. They're training your child to worship sex, carnality. And you need to read what carnality does. Romans 8:6. What I'm proving to you is that the school systems are immoral and unethical. Romans chapter 8, verse 6. We're trained to be unethical. And that is the source of our death. the death of our communities. Not just a physical death, but a mental and a spiritual death, economic death, educational death, social death, marriage deaths. Nothing works. Read.
For to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace.
Now, in the public schools, are we taught spiritual life? Then if we're not taught spirituality, which is life and which is peace, then what are we being taught? Carnality. Well, let's see. If the public school systems are teaching carnality, then they won't have God in the school. Can't be in the school, because if God is in the school, then you got to talk about the Spirit of God. And they say in this country there has to be a separation. You have to have two kinds of minds: a state mind and a church mind. Church mind gets one day, and not even all day, because they have football on church day, and basketball and baseball and all kind of tournaments on church day. And competition from all the business buildings that are open on church day. See, everything competes with church day. The movie houses. Now, there was a time that church day was also family day. Families used to at least get together one day a week and sit around the table and talk. See, today we don't sit down around a table and talk as a family. We take a TV plate and sit in front of the TV and eat. Stuff dripping all around, falling all over the floor. Roaches and ants, everybody coming up down. Correct? You're supposed to have two kinds of minds: state mind, church mind, because they say there must be a separation between church and state. So anything that the church talks about, we don't want that in school. You got to keep that away from the school. Then if you got to keep anything that the church would teach, what's in the church supposed to be in the church is God. At least the title God. Though the church is without substance, at least the title God as a curiosity exists in the church. And when you remove that from the school, then you have successfully removed everything about God, including prayer, from the school. So what is your child left with? Carnality. Which is what? Death. How can your child become spiritually minded? Maybe every now and then hearing about God on Sunday. Look at that. 1/7 of his time. And as soon as he gets old enough to switch channels, he certainly is not watching Oral Roberts. It would be the Moffats, a Trojan Man, a Roboton, or some of those things they got. It's somebody. Am I making this up? Or am I on target? You give your child a chance to watch Billy Graham and Roboton. Which one does he turn into? That stands for all those robot animations. I don't know the name of that stuff, but they... Sheba. They even use Hebrew names. Yeah. Now let's look at the next verse, verse 7. Romans 8, verse 7. Read.
Because the carnal mind is enmity against Yahweh. for it is not subject to the law of Yahweh, neither indeed can be.
Now look at this. They have trained your children to be carnal-minded, which means enmity. Enmity means hatred. They have trained your child to be hostile toward God, who is good. Your child is actually brainwashed to be hostile for anything that stands for good. And your children will automatically choose all that is bad. Your child is programmed and brainwashed to be against anything that is right. So your children are brainwashed to love that which is wrong. God is truth. And your child being trained in carnality to have a carnal mind that hates the truth and loves a lie and will even pay $20 to go hear somebody lie and talk nasty to them. And what they call party records, y'all know what I'm talking about. I mean, where they really are filthy. And we are brainwashed to pay these people $20 a ticket to go sit and listen to them talk nasty under our wives and daughters and mothers' dresses. Nasty, filthy animal dogs and just falling and laying all out on the floor laughing. It's despicable. But not to them. They pay to hear it and then laugh about it. And the more filthy the ones speak, the more they love it. That's because we have turned our children over to the devil. What you talking about, y'all? I said we turned our children over to the devil. That's what I said. Who is the devil? The devil is anybody that's against God. And if you don't like God, you're just the devil, that's all. You're not might be devilish, you're the devil. If you don't like God, then you're a black devil. I've always taught that. You dirty devil, you. How many admit that if all public school children were receiving what I'm speaking about right now, it would change the society of America? Would it change the society? To expose the truth that we're being deceived and programmed and brainwashed to love evil and hate good, then turn around and teach good. Because see, that's what I'm doing. I'm in the process of coming to teaching you ethics. But first you have to understand what's going on in America. You ask, why is there so much burglary and debt, thieves and dope and alcoholics and murder and abortions and sickness and disease and death and hunger and poverty and AIDS and all? It's all because of carnality and the devil teaching carnality.
Know and rest your mind assured. Our eyes have seen his works before. And until my last days, 'tis Yahweh I will praise.
Praise Yahweh. Wow. What a message. Most honorable, Yahweh being Yahweh is here to change the world through exposing the lies, but by mainly teaching the truth, teaching ethics, a system of moral principles that we can't find taught anywhere on earth. There are no big conventions and big classes on teaching ethics. It's a lot we have to talk about in Power Talk, and I do have a special announcement right after these messages. Greetings, family. Sorry I haven't posted in a while. I've been very busy self-publishing my new book entitled Ethics: How to Achieve Heaven on Earth. It has truly been a labor of love. I have researched and compiled wisdom over the last 32 years for this book, and now I present it to you. This book will truly enhance your life and change your perspective on the world today. Shalom Aleichem, family. This YouTube channel needs your help. As you know, good works in this world will never be monetized. So I'm asking that the supporters, followers, true believers, and disciples of Yahweh to help this channel to continue to publish the good works and the fame of the Most High, Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. How much do you love Yahweh? Put your money where your heart is and be blessed. And now, your video.
Praise unto Yahweh, and Yahweh be Yahweh. From the nation of Yahweh,
YahwehRadio.com. YahwehRadio.com.
step on into
YahwehRadio.com.
Let nobody
Turn me away from Yahweh.
YahwehRadio.com.
Yahweh ben Yahweh is a great God and a great King above
YahwehRadio.com.
holy name. You ain't worthy. It's truly God. Yeah.
Rescuing our future since 2004. From beginner to advanced. From melodies to mastery. From practice to performance. Neo Jazz School of Music, creating space for young people to express and to grow. Now with 2 locations, New Orleans and Miami. Enroll today at neojazz.org.
To enjoy perfect rest. To enjoy perfect sleep. To enjoy perfect peace. Primordial vibration. Subscribe today.
Yahweh Virtual University is now providing free weekly Saturday classes for students of all ages. Yes, you've heard that right. Our free Saturday Bible Fun classes allow students to create fun projects while learning Yahweh mathematics, reading, writing, and of course, amazing Bible stories. Click the link in the description below to see the correct age group and time students should join our free Bible Fun classes. We look forward to seeing you each Saturday. Praise Yahweh forever.
What do all these people have in common besides a beautiful smile, healthy teeth, and gums? They all use Zadi toothpaste. Zadi toothpaste is made with all natural ingredients. Zadi toothpaste is fortified with moringa and baking soda. Zadi toothpaste is suds-free, making it an excellent choice for kids. All natural, fortified, and suds-free. Get yours today at noystore.com.
See, it's a lot going on in the nation of Yahweh, and I pray that all the listeners out there will participate in patronizing the businesses that support the nation of Yahweh. Praise Yahweh. And thinking about this message, what the world needs, well, we know the world needs Yahweh, and Yahweh sent forth his son, the most honorable Yahweh ben Yahweh, as a gift to the world. But he came to us first, and he had to resurrect us first. And then he gave us a mission. That mission is to take that message, the word, to the rest of the world. Well, there's a lot of us still walking in darkness, and Yahweh ben Yahweh also commanded us to help wake up our people and to go spread the good news of Yahweh to the world. So my big announcement is that you saw the commercial, January 1st, the book Ethics, How to Achieve Heaven on Earth, will be released, and that's Monday. This Monday, coming Monday, the ethics book that it took me 32 years working on that book to write it. And it is from two sources, Yahweh ben Yahweh's word and the research of the Bible and the dictionary. And so, that's okay, three sources. The word is the source of Yahweh ben Yahweh. The research is done through the 10-step study method to compile a synoptic overview about ethics, because it goes so deep that it would take volumes to unlock the mysteries of ethics. So, yes, ma'am.
Well, praise Yahweh, what an awesome message and an awesome announcement. I just had a question for you. Would you consider this one of the many volumes that Yahweh ben Yahweh prophesied on coming?
I would certainly consider that. After reading it, it's definitely enhanced my understanding of ethics. It enhanced my understanding of the law, statute, judgments, and commandments of America. But I do want to say that I have a special today, because the book is available for all the people listening to me right now. at a discounted rate. If everybody wanted to take a listen, a read to this new book, Ethics, How to Achieve Heaven on Earth, it is on sale today for just the Unfolding Light audience with a $10 discount. So you can get it. And if you like, I don't know if you like it or not, you can have an autographed copy. I don't know what the significance of that, but people seem to like that from time to time. And, you know, me being an artist, you know, musician and doing the things that I do, some people like that, you know, and that's more than happy to do something like that. But the message today goes in a line to what this book is all about. See, Yahweh Ben Yahweh expounded today that the world is taught evil, is taught to do wicked, it's taught to be unethical. From school, from all of the programs you're in, you know, with the sports and the competitions and all of the things, they're not teaching God or good. They're teaching all those things from a wicked perspective. For example, when the Most Honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh allowed the children to play games, it was for fun. It wasn't for the competition. It wasn't, if everybody had fun, everybody won. A game is to have fun. It's not to be, I'm mad because the other team got more points than we did, or mad because we didn't win. If you had fun, you won, because that's the purpose. Well, Satan teach it to where you don't have no fun unless you win. And when you win, you're supposed to boast and brag and in your face and all this kind of stuff and ridicule the losers. The losers, look at the vernacular. Look at the spells. You get winners and losers. You come up on a losing team, are you a loser? Well, that's what the world teach. In contrast to that, Yahweh Ben Yahweh came giving us ethics, which is a system of moral principles found in the laws, statutes, judgments, and commandments of the Bible. Now, when we begin to teach those things, represent or represent ethics, when we begin to teach our children and our families ethics, the world begins to change. One person, one family, one community at a time, one city at a time, you know, because imagine having ethical politicians. I know that's a stretch to imagine that, because all of the systems are designed to where an ethical person may get in, whether he stays ethical, he or she stays ethical while they're in there. It's so many worldly temptations of money, rich, and fame to that person. To be ethical and turn that down and represent the people, well, we can see in the politics how that works. We can see how that went for us. So one of the things that the ethic books talk about is the solution to the world's problems. And the solution to the world problem is just what Yahweh sent his son to this planet to deliver. Ethics, to move us right back to the law, statute, judgments, and commandments of Yahweh. That's how this planet is to be saved. Those who will be saved in this transition of destruction of the wicked rulership will have to be ethical to be saved. So this book is also a book of salvation, explaining to you how you can be safe and saved from the destruction of the wicked man. You have to turn from your wicked ways that we were taught. We were taught milk does a body good. Now, what a big lie. That's unethical to teach us cow milk does a human body good. It does not. That's just a lie. And I can go on and on with the opposites of ethics versus what we're taught, unethical things. Even in politics, we were speaking of, you elect somebody to represent you, they begin to be paid to represent corporations. You know, whoever financed a campaign is pretty much the financier or the person who got them in office, not the people who voted for them. The people who gave them money to campaign is the ones who they do the favors for. So if that corporation want to bring in toxic waste to a Black community, that politician will not fight against it. Same way with anybody else who compromised. If they're being paid, you know, just like these scientists are paid to say, you know, there are not just two genders. You know, they're paid to say, well, I don't want to talk about biology anymore. I'm a scientist, I'm a biologist, but I don't want to talk about biology anymore as it relates to human beings, because right now I'm paid to not say there are male and females. You know, I'm paid to just don't talk about that. Well, that's the unethical society we live in, where the people you're supposed to trust to be smart and have information are paid to just give you disinformation. That means they try to lead you in a direction they know is the wrong direction. You know, politicians know it's not right to send all of the tax money over to fight wars in different countries, while there's homeless people on the street today, where there's poverty in this country. The money sent overseas to these last two wars that were popular, you know, Ukraine and Israel, could eradicate homelessness in this country. But more in particular, when you think about the situation in Chicago, where the people of Chicago are totally upset. They in total poverty, a lot of them homeless, but immigrants are coming in and they building them a place to live and giving them money that they taking from the taxpayers that are homeless, the taxpayers that are struggling in Chicago. They're taking their tax dollars to build immigrants who hadn't paid one tax, one dime, and to build them shelters when they won't even build it for the citizens of this country. How unethical, how immoral this country is. So the solution to homelessness and poverty is ethics. They can do it for the immigrants, they can do it for their citizens. If they can send $400 billion overseas to fight a war and pay billions of dollars for weapons to send to other countries, those billions of dollars can be spent on poverty and homelessness and programs to help educate the communities. But Wicked Man is not going to do that. That would be ethical. So that's the difference. To eradicate all of these problems of society, you have to practice ethics. You have to teach ethics. You have to become ethical. You must have ethical behavior. And so when you consider understanding, going into a deeper understanding, my research over the last 30 plus years has been about the law, statute, judgments, and commandments. There's a chapter in the book where it just takes the first 10, the so-called 10 commandments, and break them down and give you more understanding of these commandments, because we are taught on such an elementary level. Say, for example, thou shalt not kill. The Most Honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh did a whole teaching on thou shalt not kill, and understand that people kill people every day. We're not talking about murder. See, that's why our minds go on an elementary level. We thinking about murdering somebody, taking their life is the only aspect of kill that we think about. What about killing their character? Have you ever talked about somebody to somebody else negatively? You know, that person, they ain't no good. And you just, to that person you talking to who don't know that person, you just killed their character. Because now that person, look at that the other person and say, that must be a bad person because such and such said this, that, and the other. Isn't that bad how people can kill on a daily basis and not even realize it? Or you can talk bad to your child and say, you just like your father. You ain't gonna never be nothing. You're not gonna mount out to be nothing with that attitude. Well, you just killed your child's spirit. Now they feel that what you pronounced, that sentence that you pronounced on them, is real, and they go out and live it. They become that. They embody that. They embrace it. Oh, I ain't gonna be nothing. My mama done said that so many times because she don't like my daddy, who I don't know, he ain't here. And now I'm just, you just killed the spirit of your child or even somebody else's child. And you don't even know it. So when we look at these law, statute, judgments, and commandments, they go much deeper than what we're taught in elementary school on the surface. There's so many things like remember the Sabbath, the Shabbat, to keep it holy. Remember the Shabbat, to keep it holy. Wait a minute now, what is the law saying to me right there? Is it the law to remember? Is that the first part of it, is to remember? So obviously there will be a time where we forgot the Sabbath day, the Shabbat. And to keep it holy, we have to remember it to keep it holy. It talks about 6 days doing our work. But see, that's just on the surface as an allegory for the 6,000 years that we would be subjected to this evil. We have to make ourselves holy. And it's not just one day a week that we're supposed to make ourselves holy or prepare ourselves for this transition from the 6,000 years of Satan rule to the day of rest from Satan, which is the 7,000 years, which we're in that now. We're in the 7th millennium, the 7th day. Every day is a Shabbat. Every day you prepare to be holy. Every day you observe the law, statute, judgments, and commandments in a fervent understanding, to gain a fervent understanding for these law, statute, judgments, and commandments. That's the day of rest from the Satan's lies and all of the deceptions that he has caused upon this world. We see Yahweh ben Yahweh teaching in this message about how, they train you. You're trained to be evil. Yes, ma'am.
Well, this is so much that we can unpack in this message. I'm really excited about the release of this book. As an addition to the amazing teachings that our most honorable Yahweh ben Yahweh is giving us, having his children really add to that information, add the many layers and the many colors of what it means, is such a need, because what we're seeing right now is a society that's faced with degradation. And so I'm really curious, and I might have missed this, but did you share how family?
No, I didn't. I'm so excited about the information, releasing the information, because truly, and this is not a hypothetical situation, but right now we may not be able to see it, but this is how the earth will be changed, through teaching ethics. The scriptures say all nations shall come up to the house of Judah to learn about Yahweh. And what we'll be teaching them about Yahweh, his law, statute, judgments, and commandments, which is sum total of ethics. This is where it is. But you want to share how people can, and remember, we're giving a special price today, just today, from the Unfolding Light audience, can get the book for a $10 discount.
And yes, sir. So all you have to do is go to Shop Yes Store. That's ShopYesStore.com. ShopYesStore.com.
Embrace the culture.
Embrace the culture. And the discount is available
So all you have to do is put the book in your cart and it'll automatically apply that $10 discount. So go to SHOPYESTORE.com.
ShopYesStore.com.
But it is that time
It's that time to
that we get our family involved in this conversation because Yahweh Ben Yahweh gave us so much. And Dr. Lou, you and I was talking about this, how our children are taught against us, literally taught against what's good. And we seeing this all around us, but we know our family has so much more to add to this. So if you are joining us on the Zoom, we are inviting you to join us in this conversation. If you are dialed in, all you have to do is press *6 to unmute yourself. If you are using the Zoom app, all you have to do is press the mic to unmute or find a reaction to raise your hand and we'll get you to unmute yourself.
praise Yahweh.
So, Dr. Lou, I know your journey or part of the journey of you writing this book, but what really inspired you to go down this path of ethics?
Well, when I first heard Yahweh Ben Yahweh say that we have to write books and go through all of the words and explanations that he didn't have time to go to. He was teaching the royal priesthood, and he was saying that he was giving us all of these conditions that we suffer, and he was giving us all these words, and he said because of his constraints of the tomb, he didn't have time to explain it all to us, but it was our job to write books on these subjects to go in depth. You know how you always say, go research the matter, 2 Timothy 2:15, and he gives us a little bit of understanding, but it's up to us to expand on that and study. And so that is the main thing that made me decide I got to write a book. I got to write of all the things that I'm learning. And I began to write. And that was like back in 92, I believe it was. And I've started different books. I have several books started on various subjects that Yahweh Ben Yahweh has taught us over the years. But the main subject that is consistent is the law, statute, judgments, and commandments. The main thing that is consistent in our lives is that we must learn and practice the laws of Yahweh. And when Yahweh Ben Yahweh began, when I heard the teachings about ethics, it's like, wow, that sums up the transition. I saw it in my mind when the earth moves from the current wicked state of rulership to a righteous rulership, then the ethics is what have to be deployed.
So are you saying that ethics is a vehicle to bring about the change that we need to see?
I truly believe that. If everybody, like say, for example, when we said the uproar in Chicago with the people or the citizens are mad at the city for spending their tax money on immigrants that's coming across the border and housing them and giving them, money and food. It's like ethics they would have been housing and doing that for the people of Chicago that are struggling. They would have programs to help them first, their own people first. And then if some other people happen to come and show up, well, ethics would say, well, let's share it. But see, you share the resource sources. You wouldn't have the mayor and the city council and aldermen making a whole lot of money while everybody in their district is poor, when the money that they're making can help everybody in their district at least have the basic necessities. So ethics will cause it to where one man, the CEO, don't make $10 billion this year for bonus, while the workers can't observe their special days because they're broke.
So in developing this book, how do you see the reader using the book as a tool to make this change that we need to see?
Well, understanding is the last part of the scripture in Proverbs where it says, Wisdom and knowledge are the principal thing, therefore get wisdom. But with all thy getting, get understanding. Well, Yahweh be Yahweh gave us wisdom. He had to give us wisdom in a certain way. And he talked about how he had to come to us speaking real militant to get our attention, because we didn't want to hear anything about being good. And when he appeared in 79, when he stood up, and the whole Miami area there was riots every year. And when he stood up to begin to teach, he couldn't talk to us about being good in that climate. He had to come with a message, a roaring lion message about what was going on in society. He couldn't just say the key is for all of us to be good. Nobody would have followed him. So he had to give us a little bit of information, like you're not a nigger, and lesson number 1, how everybody else, all of the other nations on the planet know their selves except you. And so he had to give us that sense of, I want to know who I am. Why is it I'm the only one don't know who I am? Why is all other people around me can tell me their ancestry? I can't tell you nothing, but I come from Cleveland or Baltimore, or something like that, some community. Well, when Yahweh ben Yahweh came, he gave us a sense of, we're not niggers, we're Hebrew Israelites. We're the tribe of Judah, chosen to rule the world. And so that message was like, we the chosen ruler? Oh, wow. And so now he got our attention, but then he had to give us ethics. He had to give us the law, and he had to teach us the law. And a lot of people who came left when he got into the law is now. We got to keep the law now. You about to say?
Well, I was just going to provide clarity. You provided a scripture, that's Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7, which reads, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7.
So I think that this book, the ethics book, give a little deeper understanding. It starts out with a historical sketch from our plight after we were exiled out of our own land that they call Israel. Today, we settled in West Africa, and we stayed there 1,400 years until the beginning of the slave trade. And no, it did not start in 1611. The slave trade in this country began in the year 1555. The slaves built St. Augustine, Florida, founded 1565. So it starts out with a historical sketch and some of the men who were commissioned to come and enslave us. It talks about all the nations that conspired together to take us from our state of sovereignty to a state of enslavement. And so it begins there, but it talks about explains all of the nations, who they are today. Psalms 83, 84, 1 through 10. It talks about all of the people who conspired and was confederate against us to put us in slavery, to enslave us here in the hills of North America. So with that understanding, the people who they are today, the nations and what was done, but you also get the prophecy of when we come out of this country with great substance. What is that great substance? What about coming out? How is those who led us into captivity shall go into captivity? And we can see that today because the whole earth is bound to doing what a few billionaires tell us to do. As it relates to anything that they perpetrate, they enslaving the whole world. It's not just the tribe of Judah now, it's the whole world. So these same systems that was set up to enslave us is now being deployed or has been deployed all over the world to enslave the world.
Well, it's real. It sounds like ethics is the critical element that's needed for the whole world to make a change. And I'm really encouraged by this work. I'm also, of course, primarily encouraged by Yahweh ben Yahweh putting this energy, activating this energy in his children, activating this energy from around the globe, we're standing up and calling for all of the good people to come together and speak out against these atrocities. And I'm hearing that this book is a stepping point for those who are coming out of that darkness. I heard that there's a little bit of the history embedded in that book. And this is for anybody, like a general audience
General audience.
can read this and gain that historical reference of how the law was polluted through, they to remove the law from our reach, and it was right there in front of our faces.
Right there in front of our faces. And when you teach, like Yahweh Ben Yahweh said today in the message, when you train society to be evil, and look at what society is doing today. I mean, is it righteous or is it evil? We don't have to go to specific aspects of society, but we all know you can pull out anything, food, something everybody need, water, air, they're spraying chemicals in the air. And everybody knows it. Everybody see it. You walk out your house, take a big stretch, look up in the sky, and you see tic-tac-toe up there. Somebody playing tic-tac-toe in the sky.
Yes.
And it's like those are chemicals they're spraying that the world is subjected to. When will this end? Well, it will end when the righteous people stand up and come together. Do you know there's more good people on the planet than bad? It's like the good people on the planet outweigh the bad by like 99%. I mean, seriously. But see, that 1% has got at least 2/3 of the population totally under their spell of believing in Satan's lies. Revelation 12:9, Satan was cast out and his angels was cast out of heaven with him, and they was cast down to the earth, and they deceived the whole world. The whole world is deceived. That's how the whole world is enslaved, by this small minority, this small percentage of the people.
Small percentage of the population.
And if you notice how most of the stuff that they talk about and they deceive people, it's like we have lived on this planet at least for the last 6,000 years of recorded history, but for hundreds of thousands of years in reality, and we never needed the pharmaceutical industry. We never needed those drugs that they say you're going to die without. But 10 years ago, we lived and we didn't die and we didn't have them. 20 years ago, we lived, we didn't die, we didn't have those drugs and we lived, it's like, society, are you dumb? Yes, they went through a whole process of public education, and that's what Yahweh Ben Yahweh was talking about, to train us to be dumb, to be just mindless workers for the elite 1% that owns the world. But the reality is, my father owned the world. And he said, it is our inheritance. We are co-heirs with the Son, Yahweh, on our father's inheritance, the world. And the only way we can claim it is by being ethical, by returning to the law and using the law to exalt ourselves into our rulership position.
Well, I do want to invite our family listening in on Zoom who are able to tune in and even take part in the conversation. If you want to ask a question for Brother Dr. Lude here, or you want to expound on what Yahweh Ben Yahweh shared, you can do so by pressing *6 if you're dialed in, or pressing the mic to unmute yourself. We have a few more minutes left, so we want to get those comments in if you want to join. If you have them, to join in on the conversation with us. But if not, we'll continue to interview and discuss ethics with Dr. Lude here. And Lude, are there any other big pieces in today's message? I know today's message was really extremely aligned with the work that you did with this book, and Yahweh Ben Yahweh put that information in you. But are there other points that you addressed in your book that Yahweh spoke on today that you would like to share a little bit more about?
Well, absolutely. Yahweh Ben Yahweh said one of his jobs was that, until he came and exposed these lies, I can testify myself. I was under the spell of Satan. I was under the deception of Satan. I thought
Ooh.
his world was a permanent world and that we had to just exist in his world. We had no alternative to Satan's world before the most honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh stood up.
Mhm.
And so him standing up is exposing these lies by teaching the truth. And so one of the main things about the ethics book is careful research to understand, the day-to-day, like people names who were sent and commissioned to enslave us, and how they do it and different things of that nature. Is just making it not abstract. We talk about slavery, oh, that's in the past. Well, no, slavery never ended. My book talks about the day after the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation, there were enacted laws called Black Codes that was a way of enslaving the population who was just so-called emancipated.
Mm.
And those Black Codes said if you didn't have a job, wait a minute, where you get a job? You just get free from slavery. Where is there any jobs at?
You literally don't have anywhere to live.
You literally don't have anywhere to live. And our people who escaped those codes went out into the woods and carved out a community. They bare hands, they carved out, machetes and hand tools, but with their hands, they carved out, build houses, build a community, did some trade. They worked their way out of that. But the system was enslaving most of them. They had the prison labor camps that they would just take your children, and loitering or standing around was a crime. When you didn't have a job, you're a criminal and you go to these camps. This is what the Black Codes, and then we all know about Jim Crow. How when Jim Crow came out, they told us how much we can make, where we could and couldn't work, where we couldn't come in interest and couldn't drink from the. Remember all of these things. So did slavery end? And then we think about right now, this day, most people, if they lost their job, they'd be out of luck.
I know.
Out of food, out of work. We do have a call.
We do have a caller. Caller with your line unmuted. You are now live on Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
We can, certainly can.
Sir, Sister Tula from Nashville. I just want to say, Dr. Lou, thank you for writing this book. And I'm going to order today. I was looking for a pen. Did you say shopstore.com?
ShopYesStore.com.
Okay, that's why I wanted to be sure.
Yes, ma'am.
So
we're going to put that link in the chat for you too, for if you can pull it from the chat off of Zoom also.
Okay. Well, I'll be ordering as soon as this call is over. And I just want to thank you. There's no more dedication required of anybody than to write. I'm a writer myself, and it's the most it requires discipline, and obviously it's a single activity. And yet, only passion, only a desire to reach your reader can motivate somebody to sit down and write. So this is for posterity. It's an honor to our Father, Yahweh Ben Yahweh. And I just want to say, let's make sure this book is in every home. And this message, the only hope we have for our people is a change of our mindset and our thinking. And ethics is the foundation of it, as he taught, and as now you're expanding upon. So Toda, and love you guys. Thank you for all of the work, for producing these shows. Nothing just happens. It's so easy to talk, but we have to follow through. And we love you, so much. And Toda again for everything.
There you
Praise
go.
Yahweh. I thank Yahweh for giving you the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. I praise Yahweh for you being so dedicated to understanding his will. And I thank all of the family that, are supporting and will support these works because, like you said, this is a labor of love. When Yahweh ben Yahweh said, now, hit the ground running, go back to your cities and help wake up our people. I took that personal. Our people need to be awakened. And boy, did I talk about Yahweh's laws everywhere in every circle to the people. People were avoiding me because all he want to talk about is good. And that's just the proof in the message today that people wasn't interested in good. They need to hear that good. And oh man, I talked about to people, and see, now it's been a long enough time to where most of those people have passed away who didn't want to listen to good. Even with the food situation, when I read the Divine Dietary Law book and I began to regurgitate the information and talk about it all the time, people rejected that. Oh man, I'm gonna eat my pork. I'm gonna do, and it's like I'm telling you what the laws of God, of Yahweh is saying in the book. This is something that's forbidden for us to do. And they, I'm gonna keep on eating. And I spoke at their funeral. Literally, I spoke at their funerals, their services. Because this is what happens. What did Yahweh ben Yahweh say, the overall theme of this message? He said, keep you carnal, focus on the carnal mind, is death. And Satan keeps you focused on the carnal mind. Well, ethics talks about all of the stuff that Satan did to get us to this point, but it also talks about the proven solution to eradicate Satan, all his lies, to see through all of that. Start being ethical. Start practicing the law, statute, judgments, and commandments of Yahweh. And see how much more you are able to see, which is perceive, of these lies.
Well, Dr. Lude, I would be remiss if I didn't ask you this question. How has practicing ethics changed and transformed your life?
Wow, that's a good question. Well, Yahweh said in the scripture about that, I'm young and I'm yet old, and I've never seen the children of Yahweh begging bread. Well, Yahweh has always provided in every single situation of my life. Yahweh has always kept me and provided because I'm faithful to practicing his laws. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Don't get practicing mistaken with perfect. It takes practice to become perfect. And this is a lifelong practice to become perfect. And so when you get on that journey, on that path, you have divine protection from Yahweh, and he'll keep you on that path. If you truly want to stay on that path, Yahweh will keep you on that path, and he will provide for you. Don't ask him for stuff because you'll get it. I've asked for a whole lot of things that he gave me that I did not want. I realized I did not want it. What a mistake it is but you asked for it. And I'm like, yeah, I had to hold my head down. I asked for this. So I be careful not to ask for things. I ask for wisdom. I ask for, knowledge, determination. I ask for those kind of things. I don't ask for other stuff because when you
Tangible,
get it,
carnal things, you get something you don't want.
You get something you don't want. You want Yahweh to give you what he knows you need.
You want him to fill you with the spirit.
Yes.
So that you're able to do the things that
Absolutely.
you're supposed to.
And you say, if you acknowledge him in all your ways, Yahweh shall direct your path. We have another caller.
We do have one final caller
for the day.
Pocatello caller with your line unmuted. You are live on Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom. Welcome to Power Talk.
Shabbat Shalom, family. Praise Yahweh. Praise Yahweh ben Yahweh. This is Sister Yochebed Sarah Israel. And I just want to say I'm so excited about your book, Dr. Lou. This is obviously a work of art and a work of beauty, putting so much time into it. I truly understand what that is. Family, let me explain. When Yahweh was among us, he told us all to write a book on our names. And many of us are in the process of doing that. Many of us have completed books, but are just waiting on final touch-ups, myself being one. And let me explain how important it is that we get these books into the hands of the public and into the ether, because over the past few years, the enemy has been developing a weapon against us, and we're not even aware of it. And that weapon is AI. And the AI is being trained in a, how should I say, wicked, immoral way, to the point where when you ask AI certain questions, it will give you the answers of its creators, which is incorrect. Like, you know, can a man have babies? The incorrect answers will come about. So our works in this system at this time is crucial. We must recreate the language, the mindset, and the disposition of the people of the world. Electronics and computers and everything like that is not what's wicked and destroying the world. It is the programmers. We must reprogram what has been put out into the public. And by supporting Dr. Lude, purchasing this book, getting this knowledge into our heads and the world's heads is a part of recreating, reshaping the mindset of those that want it, those that are righteous, those that are good, those that are ethical, those that want to live in the future world of Yahweh and Yahweh ben Yahweh. So I just wanted to say that, family. Praise Yahweh, Dr. Lude, for a wonderful, wonderful presentation. It is beautiful, and I'm excited, and I will be purchasing this book. Praise Yahweh. Shalom, family, and thank you for letting me share.
Praise
Praise
Yahweh.
Yahweh.
I thank Yahweh for giving you the wisdom and share, and I look forward to your book. And I want to thank all of the family who ordered the book today and will order a book in the future. I mean, it's like we say, a labor of love, and we need to have this information, and that's the main point. And we need to get this, spread this information all over the world to change the world. This is what will change the world. Not necessarily this book, but the practice of ethics. And this book is a good step. There are other books that our father wrote that you can get on this subject. So please do. And Tamai, you final thought?
Well, my final thoughts are encouraging the family to make this purchase, continue to walk in ethics. Just a couple of announcements. If you want to purchase the book, it is shop, SHOP, YESTORE store. The YE is for Yisrael Edutainment. That is our production company. We're our production studios. We are producing this content. That is Yisrael Edutainment. So it's shop YEStore.com. ShopYesStore.com. And it will be available on ebook on Amazon, Kindle, Barnes and Noble, e-reader, and a few other ebook platforms on January 1st. So if you want to wait to get it on the or get the physical copy and the ebook, praise Yahweh, we encourage you to do both.
Do both, praise
Buy the
Yahweh.
physical book to give it to some people you know. Remember, it is a good general read. So if you got some people who need to gain some enlightenment and understanding, this is a good book to share with them.
This is a good gift. It's general. It's not religious. It's spiritual. It is about a concept that all people, if deployed, will do better in their lives and around their families. And one last bit of information I like to share is that I've already been invited to book, I forget exactly what it is, but they've already began to invite me to come speak on the subject of ethics in a book festival. So that's Yahweh's work. The book is just now coming out, and I'm already getting offers to come talk about ethics. What is that going to do for the world to have people engaging in this conversation about ethics is the way to solve all of the problems of the planet? That's deep. Praise Yahweh. And with that, we can that brings us to the end of this episode of The Unfolding Light. Please join us next week for another episode of The Unfolding Light. And now, if everybody will stand and face the east with outstretched hand, as we close out this episode with a prayer, the Lord's Prayer in Hebrew. Tefillah. Avenu Shabbat Shemayim, Yikadesh Shemeaka, Tavo Malkuterika, Yad Zerizonka, Kim Vashemayim Kain Ba'aretz, Et Lekam Kukenu, Tain Lanu Hayom, Uslat Lanu, All Kartienu, Kimosa Sol King, Gamanatnu, Lakotiem Lanu, Veal Tevienu, Lade Nisayom, King Kal Senu, Min Hara, Kilaka, Hamamlaha, Veha Givera, Veha Tefieret, Leolame, Olamin Sila. We thank thee, O Yahweh, O living and eternal King, who has so mercifully restored our souls within us. So let everything that has breath praise Yahweh. And always remember, Yahweh loves you, Yahweh Ben Yahweh loves you, and so does the nation of Yahweh. Shabbat Shalom, family.
Thank you for joining The Unfolding Light, presented by the Nation of Yahweh. If you have any comments or questions, please email us at info@thenationofyhwh.com. Follow us online at thenationofyahweh.com, theunfoldinglight.com, and at yahwehbenyahweh.biz. Get social with us. Follow the Nation of Yahweh on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, do remember to pay Yahweh and yourselves first and don't touch it, as instructed by the Honorable Yahweh Ben Yahweh. You can send your tithes, donations, and offerings to the Nation of the Nation of Yahweh at P.O. Box 555-115, Orlando, Florida 32855. And be blessed continually, according to Malachi chapter 3, verse 10. Praise Yahweh. Shalom, shalom.
Stop your crying. Stop your crying. It's gonna be alright. Stop your lying, children. It's gonna be alright. Don't wanna be alright. Stop worrying. That's this wording going on. It's gonna be alright, man. Cause you see, Yahweh Ben Yahweh is here now. Well, he's a man with a wonderful, wonderful life. You'll be praying all night long. Well, cause you see, you don't know if you're gonna get up in the morning now and lose your home. Well, cause you see, I got all these children children and going on. And I don't want them to starve. And that's why you got to go and bow down to somebody who ain't God. A man on your job. Well, yeah. The mighty God is here now. The Son. I'm talking about the Son, Yahweh, Ben Yahweh. So you can quit all this foolishness and going on, but we living in a brand new day. Well,